Hi YouTube, Roy Marko with Roy Marko's Garage, coming to you today with a bumper that I picked up from Kijiji for my C50. This is an original style bumper that would have come on 67, probably into 1970 Chevy pickup trucks. Some of the later step bumpers are more squared off. I'm not sure if this is a factory bumper or not, but I have seen a couple of trucks with this exact same bumper on it, so I assume that it might have been a GM option bumper. There's a couple of brackets on here. They bolt on, and then a guy could bolt this right to the frame rails. The frame rails on this truck are basically the same width as a half ton, the distance apart. Just get my little tape measure here. The factory frame rails are basically outside to outside is 34 1/4, but with the fact that these C channels fit on the inside, we're at 33 3/4 from outside to outside. And if we take our measurement here, we're at 34 1/4, just over 1/4 out from inside bracket to inside bracket. But these brackets kick the bumper out, and so I think what I would like to do is take these brackets off and use the brackets that come on the inside of the bumper here, and then bolt that directly to the frame rail extensions that I have welded on the back here. Once I get the bumper in place, I can then figure out all the bracing and the hitch that I want to put in, but I need to know what bumper I'm going to put on the back. So let's get to it. And the first thing I want to do, since I know I'm not going to use these brackets here, is I got to get these bolts off here. And I could try and use a wrench or tool on them, or I can cut them off with fire, and that is just more fun. So let me just get the oxyacetylene and we'll just zip them right off. Alright, so I got the brackets off the bumper here. Going on to the chassis here, I got to mark out a hole and drill one hole in the top on each side that's in the same place. That allows me to get the bumper in place since I'm by myself to hold it. So I'll get this license plate off, and then I will mark out some holes and drill them. I'm pulling the plate off because I need room for the bumper, and also the license plate will now be mounted to the bumper. That was one of the reasons of doing this, so that the plate, I don't have to drill holes in my new box floor when I go to install that. Let me just go put that in a safe place. I've done some pre-measuring on this, and I believe that my bolt, I'd like to put the bolt at least 1 inch down from the top here, but I also want it to be about 1.5 inches in. So I need my first hole to be right there on each side. Now how I came to that, is I have at least 1 inch, just over 1.5 inches to the center of the hole here from the edge of the bumper. And what that'll do is bring that bumper up nice and close into the truck, so that this piece of checker plate is actually kicking up and filling in the gap in the back. Also, I wanted an inch from the top, so the top of the frame rail will just be a little bit higher than the top of this bracket. So let me get a punch and a drill, and we'll drill a pilot hole and then a 1/2 inch hole, or just a little bigger than 1/2 inch. Let's double check our measurements. Okay, go ahead and do the other side. Okay, a couple ways you can drill this. We can use a stepper bit or just the correct size drill bit. So let's see how the correct size drill bit will drill through. Now, because I have a hole and I don't want to block the camera, I'll drill from the inside out. Oh yeah, also with a bigger bit you want a slower speed. Just using the stepper bit as like a deburring tool. Here, let me get a bolt and find out if it fits. Perfect. Alright, now I got both holes made. I'll relocate the camera and see if I can lift the bumper in and slide some bolts into myself here. So I get the other one in. Okay. I'm out of breath. Now when you're fat. A panel fill in that gap, and it doesn't stick way out, so it doesn't make the truck much longer. The bumper on this truck is simply just a decoration. Underneath there'll be a hitch. I won't be using this, but this is just sort of, you know, corner protection of the truck. If somebody wants to back into you, they don't hit your bodywork. So yeah, that looks good. Now I can tighten up those bolts, drill a couple more holes. Alright, well there it is on the truck. I think it looks awesome. It looks period correct. It's the right era of bumper that came on these trucks. A lot of these trucks you could order, I shouldn't say these, not C50s. If it's a C10, C20, I'm talking like half tons to 3/4 tons. This was an optional bumper for those trucks in the early 67, 8, I think maybe even 9 years. And then they even had another style bumper where the tailgate could fold all the way down, or you could order a truck, you know, you'd have one with no bumper. I think the bumper finishes this off a little bit. You don't see those frame rails. They're completely covered by the bumper, which is exactly what I wanted. It just kind of neatens up the back of the truck, and then now I can look at, you know, how I'm going to mount the hitch and everything for towing possibilities underneath. So I only got 2 bolts holding this bumper in right now, and now I'm going to go ahead and drill 2 more holes and add the other 2 bolts. So there's 4 bolts holding this bumper on instead of 2. I went ahead, I just put the license plate back in. The holes are already there. So, all right, we drill a couple more holes. Okay, if you can see this here, the bracket, there it is, right on the chassis here. So all I got to do is drill a hole here and a hole on the other side. Okay, so you can see I got a good gap here, nice gap there, and all the way across, the same gap on that side as the other side, same in here, same gap all the way around. Fits nice, fits the truck, exactly what I wanted. If I were to use the bumper brackets and tried to space them out, this bumper would come out to here, and I wanted this backsplash pan to be in behind the tailgate so that it kind of creates a panel to cover up that gap there. Anyway, I think that turned out good. Bumper's not 100% perfect, but hey, neither is the truck, but it's a piece I can sandblast and paint, and it just goes well with the unit. So one way to break your wrist. Borrow this. Okay. Put a washer and bolt through. Washer, nut. In case you're wondering what I'm using for a fastener, I'm using a coated grade 8 bolt that's 1.5 inch long with a coated washer, another coated washer, and a lock nut. 4 bolts holding the whole bumper on in the back. So I'll go ahead and get this last bolt in. Okay, perfect. Down. That bumper right. All right, so as you can see, the license plate lights are rotted out on the old ones that were on the bumper, but thankfully you can buy new ones and they're not that expensive. This is made by Grody, and the number is 60251 for the GM replacement lights. I think they go 67 to, I don't know, 91 or something. They could even go older, and probably even on some newer trucks. Basically, there's a couple of screws, and they screw into the bumper. The one thing you have to keep in mind, though, that they have to be grounded, so they grounds through the metal. So I got some Rolex discs here. I'm just going to clean up around where the light goes, and I had to pick up something for the back side of it because the screws don't thread into the metal on the bumper. So I got these speed nuts here, like that, in a package, or 1/8, and I can then speed nut them on with the screw, and the light will fit in the hole. I don't know what's harder, working in the cold or trying to keep the camera alive while it's cold. I have it plugged in, but it still keeps shutting down on me. So you have to forgive me. It's pretty cold out. I don't know, minus something Celsius in the single digits. Probably -7 or 8 right now. Okay, I just got all the wire hooked up here. Just got to heat shrink this. Let's turn on the lights, see if they work. Yep. Okay, there you go. I got the license plate lights working. Tail lights working. Everything's good. Perfect. Alright, well there you have it. Back bumper on the C50 all done. And just remember, if you like these videos, please subscribe, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Way too much. There we go. That's what happens when the settings get changed. We get all the welders on there going, oh, you didn't have that set right. Yeah. Take, Michael. And there's 4. Holy shit. Oh, strong enough.